DC should be, should have voting rights and like all these things that all the other states have. And I totally support that. And, I think it's a great idea. I think it's an idea whose time has almost passed. It's really ridiculous that it hasn't happened yet. And it just kind of fits in with the whole huger, all the other huge questions that we want answers to from, the way this system functions from top to bottom. And I know that it has to be reorganized and rechanged and fixed, and that, everybody must have ballot access, and that, I'm part of why I'm involved in running as president for running as a nominee for a Green Party candidate for presidency is for more ballot access all across the board in all 50 states. First, I'd like to say hello to everybody. I'm honored to be speaking to you right now. I'm honored to be speaking and to address a gathering of intelligent and informed people such as yourself. And I want to make a few statements before I answer your questions, and I hope some of them may be answered, as I give my remarks. A lot of you may know me from the character I portrayed on television years ago, a character who spoke to Americans about class, gender, race, gay rights, and teenage female angst at a time when those things were not largely spoken of on the people's airwaves in the United States. Some of you know me as the author of that character, and perhaps as a thinker and an activist who, when enriched with wealth and fame, did not retire and go away to quietly live the good life, but one who instead used their own wealth to travel to speak in support of the rights of workers, to demand a higher minimum wage, against foreclosures, in support of First Nations rights in America and around the world, against the occupied embargo in Gaza, against Israeli occupation of Arab lands, and for the rights of women to lead inside their churches, synagogues, mosques, communities, states, and nations, as well as the respective society, and for the rights of gay people and lesbians to marry those they love. Perhaps you don't know that about me. In any case, now you do. Why I'm not retiring with my TV money and moving to Sun City, Arizona, or Palm Springs, California, like most old celebrities do, is because I've not yet tired of speaking truth to people into power. I've never wavered, and I never will waver, despite NDAA or any other man-made method for the silencing of dissent or common sense. These sure as hell are the times that try people's souls. These are the times when more Americans are living closer to the poverty line than they have since the last time Wall Street brought us to misery and the brink of ruin during the Great Depression. These are the times when those who peacefully protest the biggest ripoff in human history are arrested on their own streets, while those who pulled off that heist give themselves raises. While the Demopublicans and the Republicans yell across the aisle at each other about who's trying harder to serve the American people and protect their interests, it seems like more people are losing their homes and their jobs, and more people with homes that may be underwater from all those years of trickle-down economics, which is when the rich pee on the poor, I guess, are having their adult children move back in with them. A lot of these kids aren't really all that crazy about the idea of moving back in with their parents than their parents are, but they can't find jobs. And lots of them are staggering under big student loan debt. So homeowners and consumers are buried under debt. Young people coming out of college are struggling under debt. The whole country is struggling under debt in the form of the enormous deficit they tell us our grandkids will be struggling with. And who does everybody owe that money to, this money that we haven't made yet? Lots of people think our biggest creditor is China, and that's because our biggest creditor probably likes us to think that way. But the truth is our biggest creditor is elite bankers, the Federal Reserve, the same people that yank money in and out of the system and seemingly create it out of thin air. I have a suggestion for taking the biggest bite out of the federal deficit that they parked over our heads like a big dark cloud with no end to it. In the spirit of American ingenuity and do-it-yourselfness, why don't we just tell the Federal Reserve to print up some extra money and pay themselves off on our behalf? We'd be forever indebted to them without being forever indebted to them, if you understand my meaning. They'll still be filthy rich and connected. Let's take a look at their patrons and patrons over on Wall Street. And I'd like to say, Mr. Obama, tear down that wall. Let's replace it with something we can see through. The Republicans called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. I'll show you what a Ponzi scheme is. That was a scheme that George W. Bush was trying to pull when he wanted to hand our Social Security over to Wall Street. Wouldn't that have been a great idea? Who am I to talk about running for president? I'll tell you one impeccable credential I possess. I'm not George W. Bush. And I'm not one of the members of his party running now that are telling us the way to make this country better and stronger and more right is to keep shredding our social safety net while asking the richest among us to contribute even less. They're job creators. What have they been waiting for? Are they waiting for the free market to kick in? And I want to talk about free market and what that really means. Does it mean pick up our jobs and move them to China? Because that's what it looks like so far. But actually, I just really want to say that free market is about slavery, and that is what it really means. No regulations against slavery. That is what free markets mean. I'd like to ask, where would the rich be without the working poor? Who would feed them and raise their kids and wash their sheep? And when they went to the wall to flip the switch, who would make the lights come on? Without the working poor, the rich would surely starve to death. They don't know how to grow things or cook them or serve themselves. They don't even know that they should share with those who prepare their food. They are mostly damaged beyond hope, and they will, as they sit there in the dark, starving to death alone, they will still be thinking of nothing but new ways to trick people out of decent wages and health coverage. They should not, one of them, be allowed near the government by or for or of any people anywhere. We need to reevaluate and reevaluate everything now that there is no hope for any of us under the huge, dying, bloated beast of unfettered capitalism. It's falling all around us, and it's not going to get back up without slavery to fuel it. That is how it works, war and slavery. And now they want to privatize prisons to get free labor out of the people that they will arrest on the streets. I say let it fall. Don't try to hold it up or fix it. Just show up and witness the end of the system of slavery and be prepared to create a more just permaculture right now in order that we might survive what is coming to America after the next election, no matter who wins or loses, unless it's the Greens. I also want to end like this. We cannot be free or create real change until what we believe and what we do are in unison every minute of every day. We can stop doing the wrong things and start doing the right ones right now. We can also do things in the right way. We simply must cease doing them in the wrong way. We must get mad at the right things, which are the wrong things. When we get mad enough at the wrong things, we will stop doing them, and then we can begin to build a just system under which all of us can continue to live. What are the right things that we can find to agree on? Well, the list is long, but all would agree that in order to manifest any of our agreements, we must stop letting ourselves be divided by fear and hatred and find a way to seize this time to build consensus for a third party in our country with a large tent, and I really invite everyone to do that. And all of us want peace, prosperity, justice, schools, hospitals, and American infrastructure. And we also want protection from Wall Street and the Fed and from those we elected to serve us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Roseanne. Would we have any questions from folks in the audience? Marion.
My question is, Roseanne, what is your strategy for letting people in the 50 states know about the need in Washington, D.C. for statehood?
My strategy is just, to talk about it as much as I can and to show up on the press and,
When should we anticipate, and what should we be anticipating in the next few days or weeks about your campaign and how that will energize this particular primary season?
Well, just 2 days ago, we reported on the fact that the Black Caucus of the Green Party has endorsed me, and I have brought my team together, and we are making those plans. And it did begin with that announcement, you'll see a lot of me on the internet. You'll see a lot of me on YouTube, on Skype, on Twitter. You'll see a lot of me in the press upcoming in the next couple of weeks. I will speak about all of these hundreds of things that we do, have to boil down into a very succinct message, and I plan to do that. From, NDA, from repealing Citizens United NDA to ballot access in all 50 states, to health care, to forgiving student loans, to speaking about how desperately we need to get rid of these drug laws that are arresting our children in the streets, privatized prisons, and we have a whole plan that we will roll out and expect to see it. You can read about it now on my website, Roseanne for President, and Roseanne World. I have a lot of stuff there, a lot of stuff about the Electoral College, and how we have a lawsuit ready to be filed in Philadelphia on July 4th during the Green Party convention about taking it to court about how desperately we need to repeal the Electoral College in order to have free elections in this country, because of the fact that the real rule of the 1% is the Electoral College, and I'd like to bring that to the courts and have it, face it head on, because this country and this system is unfixable, in my opinion. It's rigged and unfixable. And now the people come forward to take their rightful place at the head, to be the boss of, to be the bosses united of this country, and to have a say at those tables where public money is apportioned by our so-called representatives. But I'd like to see I like to use my campaign to ignite all of those sparks out there, all that thirst for democracy and unity and the good love and respect we have for ourselves, for each other, for our children who walk the streets, for decent American values. All of those things I will be speaking to. You will hear me say so much in the upcoming days and weeks, all over the place, everywhere I can go, because I am in fear for the children of this country, for the women of this country, for the citizens of this country, for the vulnerable of this country. Believe me, I do have a plan, and I do have words, and I do have fire in the belly, and I will deliver it.
Thank you so much, Roseanne. We appreciate the time, and we know you've got some more things to do later today while you're campaigning. So we look forward to hearing more from you as we do that, and we look forward to seeing you. I believe that you said you would be present at the convention in July in Baltimore.
Yes, I'll be there, and I'll also be traveling. I will be there. I'll be traveling to other states too, to help with ballot access across the country, because we need not only consensus between as many third parties that we can get to be with us. We need to be available on every ballot in every state. We need access in every state. And I'm going to help do it.
And thank you again for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
And we'll look forward to seeing you and talking to you again soon.
Thank you.